Hi guys, it is Wednesday the 31st and today is a shot day. I weighed myself this morning. So last weigh-in it was 269.8. Today was 270.2, so it went up, a few ounces. I'm not loving that, but I do realize that weight is going to fluctuate even several pounds throughout the course of a day or two. And I realized today that I hadn't actually gone to the bathroom in about 4 days. So I'm sure, that counts for a little bit of weight. So it got me to thinking though, should I go to a 5 milligram dose today? Should I stay at the 2.5? Because I feel like I'm getting pretty good appetite suppressant. But I did notice that the closer it got to the 5 day mark, it was starting to not have as much of a suppressant feature as it typically did. So I was really struggling with this. But then it occurred to me today, I could just stay on the 2.5, but instead of a 5 day, which is the official half-life of Tirzepatide, I could go every 4 days. Because if I bumped up to 5, then I'd be taking 5 every 5 days. And I feel like that would be too much because I do feel like when I take the shot, a little bit after, I get a really good appetite suppressant from it. I don't want to not eat nothing. I want to still be able to enjoy food and eat food. So, and also I don't measure, like my waist or my stomach or my thighs or whatever. But I still feel like I have ended up losing inches, especially around, like the back fat area. Because like I said, it's definitely a lot smoother than it has been in the past. So I'm not trying to rely just on the scale for that. Anyway, back to this though. So I kind of reached out to my Discord server group to see what they thought about it. Somebody suggested that I stay at the 2.5 every 5 days still and just work on hydration and then take magnesium for the bathroom issues. But that still doesn't really address the kind of lessened appetite suppressant as we got closer to the 5 day mark. So I think what I will do is I think I will stay at 2.5 and then just go every 4 days. So we'll see that. We'll try that and see how that goes. Haven't been exercising. I know it's good for my heart and my lungs and everything, right? Like I totally get that. But I just haven't wanted to do it. And with the amount of weight that I have to lose, I'd be happy losing an additional 80 to 100 pounds at this stage. I don't feel like I need the exercise necessarily to lose the weight. I feel like I have enough reserves that I should be losing 3 to 4 pounds a week is what I feel at the weight that I am. I understand as I get closer to maintenance or to a goal that 1 pound or 2 pounds a week or a half pound a week, that's going to be expected because the more you lose, the less you have to lose. So your body's not going to want to let go of it quite as readily. With having, 80 to 100 pounds, I should be losing faster. So I'm going to go 2.5 for the next 2 weeks since I'm going to make a vial and show you guys what that looks like again. So I'll have 2 weeks worth at 2.5 milligrams. And then I'll reassess because it's mainly a laziness thing also. I don't want to go 2.5 for 1 week and then decide, I should really bump it up to 5. And then I have a 2.5 vial when I'll have 8 more 5 milliliter vials or milligram vials after that. I just don't want to have to split it up crazily. So it'll just be easier to stay at 2.5 for the next 2 weeks at least. If I'm noticing, weight drops and that kind of stuff, then I'll just stay at the 2.5 until it's no longer at 4 days, until it's no longer getting me to where I need to be. And then I'll bump it up. As far as anxiety goes, it's been great. I haven't had any problems. Again, lack of food noise, I've not really experienced that too much at the dose that I'm at. Some people, they just don't think about food at all and, I forgot to eat and stuff. I still think about food pretty regularly. It's just that I'm not necessarily as physically hungry, so it makes it easier not to give in to those kind of temptations. So I have hopes that at least that little bit of a lessening will continue. I did go out to eat with some friends yesterday. We went to a seafood place and I had fried shrimp, and my sister was there and she bought an appetizer of the fried calamari. So good. They did the batter on those things just perfect. It was very thin, almost like a tempura batter. It was very thin, very greasy, however. I haven't really had a lot of greasy food since I've been taking these shots starting at the beginning of January. And I have heard that if you eat a lot of fatty foods or greasy foods, even super high sugary foods, people have said, it can affect the way you digest it. And I'm wanting to say that I did experience that last night. Like I felt fine while I was eating. I was a little queasy ahead of time because sometimes that happens for me. I think it's a anxiety thing a lot of the time is how that manifests. But so I, ate my food. Everything was going fine. Came home, talked to my kids and my husband, and like last night, I got so bloated and I had such bad acid reflux, like multiple times throughout the night. I woke up because I could feel myself like it was, I don't know, I wanted to vomit. And I had so much air and gas in my tract today that was super uncomfortable as well. So, I mean, it was just a one-off situation, but going from that singular point of data, I would say maybe there is something to the whole fatty, greasy, fried foods on this. I don't know. I've had ice cream before in the past, which is, pretty sugar laden, and I didn't really have the same kind of experience. So I definitely had the sulfur burps last night, middle of the night, and then this morning. And I have heard that it's a digestion thing, especially with greasy, fatty foods. So hopefully that'll kind of take care of itself. So going forward, again, I'll do the 2.5 milligrams still, but I'll go every 4 days instead of every 5 days. And I will go ahead and show you what it looks like to reconstitute that second vial, my second vial of that. And then probably wait about a half hour or so after the vial is done, and then we'll do the shot and I'll show you what that looks like. See you then. All right. This is how I reconstitute a 5 milligram vial of Tirzepatide. This is the bacteriostatic water. You take this, put it into this. I will be taking 0.5 milliliters into the 5 milligram vial. So this was from the last time. I used roughly 0.5 for this. So I believe these are 1 milliliter vials, so I should be able to take all of this, but we will be measuring with a syringe. First thing you want to take is pop this off. And this one didn't have one this time because we took this off last time. You always want to sanitize both vials. So you take an alcohol prep pad, make sure you wipe it all around. Same with this one. This one's been open. I actually had it with the rest of its kind in my pantry in a box to help it stay dark. I'm using a 3 milliliter syringe. And a Luer lock huge needle. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a pretty big needle. All right. So again, however much liquid you're trying to take out, you want to put that much air into it because these are vacuum bottles. So otherwise it's going to be really hard to take the liquid out. So with this type of a syringe, it's got a cone. You want to use these lines. You don't want to use the tip of the cone. So I'm taking 0.5 out. So that's where my line will be. Not sure how well I'm going to be able to get this on film. Typically this should be faced all the way up. I'm going to push the air into it, and then it's automatically going to want to suck liquid out. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there is air in the top. So I'm going to go ahead and push that air back in. So now I have liquid that's just at the 5 milliliter mark. I'm going to take this and puncture into here, trying to make sure that you gently let it come out, otherwise it wants to suck it all in immediately. And theoretically, the reason that you don't want to let it go in super fast is because anecdotally people have suggested that it can break down the peptides. And then you can see I still have chunks with the liquid, so you just want to gently move it around until the chunks become incorporated in the liquid. A lot of people like to wait at least a half hour after this has become clear. Other people use it immediately after it's become clear. I typically wait a little bit. So just gentle swirling. And you can see it's not that much liquid. And I'll be using half of this for a dose because I'm still at the 2.5 dosage. So I'm going to speed things up a little bit, and then we'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's all clear. All right, it's been about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes of gently swirling this around. You can see it's completely clear now. So again, I will let this sit for probably about a half hour before I do my injection. And I'm only going to use half of this liquid. That's how minute of a dose it's going to be. And then I will put the other half into the fridge again to use it for my next injection after today's. All right, kids. So we are going to do a shot in my thigh as per usual. I'm going to use this freckle as a point. Just like before, I'm doing 2.5, so it's between the 2 and the 3 mark. Okay. Let's see if I can. Okay. It's hard to see maybe, but that's all the way in. Well, I guess there's a little drippy of water, or not water, of stuff on the top. No pinpoint bleeding today. All right, so I just took my Tirzepatide 2.5 milligram dose. I did figure out that the reason that there's so much bacteriostatic water is because it's actually a 2 milliliter vial instead of a 1. So that would make sense on why it doesn't seem to be going, half and half like I thought. So I can get 4 uses out of the 1 vial, of the backwater, which is nice because I've got 10 vials, so that should last me, quite some time. The needle prick today on my leg was harder to get through than typical. Now, when you use needles to get fluids out of vials like that, it's got that rubber stopper that's in it. And every time you poke the needle through it, it dulls that needle a little bit. Usually, it's a single poke through the rubber for these kind of shots. And then, I draw the amount. Well, today, when I was getting the medicine in the syringe, I didn't put enough air into the vial. Like I put the the right amount, but it was still very hard. So I ended up taking it out, getting more air, putting the air in, and then I was able to draw the liquid into the syringe. And then I just used that same needle. And it's clean, you know, because I had sterilized the top of it, and it's a needle that comes in a pack that you got to open. Like, everything's sterilized. So I wasn't worried about reintroducing a needle back to the vial anyway. But since I had put it into the rubber twice, I honestly didn't think that doing that would dull a needle that much. But I think maybe next time I will use 2 needles. One for putting the air into the vial, getting the liquid out of it, take the needle off, put a new needle on, and then inject it. I'm kind of curious to see how it is. I just haven't been doing it because I'm trying to be as cheap as possible with my medication, and the syringes and the needles, you know, everything costs money. So I just figured, I'll just use it. But I will try that as a tester next time and see if it's that much more easy to puncture the skin, if it really makes that big of a difference. If it doesn't make a huge difference, I'm just going to continue to use one needle for both drawing the medication and injecting it into my skin. Because like today, I didn't even bleed, so it wasn't huge. I feel like I'm putting more pressure in than I need to. And honestly, I can't recall how they do it. Like when I get shots or my kids get shots, I can't think if they use the same needle to draw. Well, actually, now that I think about it, it comes already in the syringe typically when they're doing shots. I don't think I usually see them draw the meds out. So maybe when they do it, they do use the secondary needle. They use one. I don't know. I don't see that part of the show. But okay, so I will be doing this every 4 days now, 2.5 milligrams every 4 days. I'm going to update the calendar on my phone because that's how I keep track of what I've got going on. I can't just remember, oh, it's 4 days and the last one I took was yada yada a day. I have to keep everything on my phone. But I'll let you guys know how it goes doing it 4 days, and I'll just keep checking in. Before I go. So I've been watching Ted Lasso. I know I'm very late to the game on this one. Super cute though. I'm on the last episode of season 2, and then my husband was like, I wanted to watch Ted Lasso. So I said, all right, well, do you want me just to wait and then we'll watch season 3 together? And he's like, that's not really an answer, right? And then he was like, well, just don't watch it if I'm in the same room. So, but still, it's not an answer. Do I wait to watch season 3? Because I don't know how long it's going to take him to go through the first 2 seasons. I basically binged it this last weekend while I was doing it. Also, there is I think I told you about this yesterday maybe, there's a game out called Pal World. My youngest son decided that he wanted to play it with me last night, so I created a new world and we started playing it. Super fun. He loved it. Like I said, it's basically a ripoff of Pokemon, one of the Pokemon games, but it's fun. I had to go somewhere last night, so my elder son played with my younger son, and he thought it was pretty fun. So it's a good game for the family. And I can't say that my younger son is helping that much, like build the base up, because he's like off doing his own thing, trying to attack things that he's got no business attacking, and then dying like all over the place, and he's got to go get his all of his gear back and stuff. So I'm really the one like taking care of the homestead and like building the things that need to be built. But he's having a good time, and it's fun doing something, you know, together, as opposed to Roblox, which I think I'm not a huge Roblox fan. I can't really get into it. It doesn't seem to have a purpose, you know? So this at least seems to have a purpose, or a storyline of a little bit, or a quest, if you will. So Ted Lasso, if you guys haven't got on that train, go ahead and do it because it's really fun. And then Pal World. It's a little glitchy because it's still beta stage, but pretty fun for the family. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.